What up, you lovable nerds? Fallout here, and today I want to talk to you about an incoming god-tier weapon available soon in a loot pool near you, the Astral Horizon Shotgun. If you're watching this video the day I'm putting it out, the gun has not yet entered the available loot pool, at least not to my knowledge. It's a weapon that is 99.9999999% confirmed to be obtainable by playing Trials of Osiris. Whoa, hold on there, buddy. I see some of you out there already gearing up to X out of this video because you feel, hey, I'll never get flawless in Trials, so why watch this video? Well, first of all, not necessarily true, I believe in you, but second of all, you don't need to go flawless in order to grab this beautiful new shotty. At least, we're pretty sure. The first weekend of newly released Trials of Osiris, there were 3 weapons available in the loot pool. The Exile's Curse fusion rifle dropped if you managed to reach 7 wins on your punch card, and you'll notice I said 7 wins, not flawless, meaning you can still get some losses and grab that fusion rifle. You could get the Tomorrow's Answer rocket launcher via 5 wins on your punch card, and the Scholar Kinetic scout rifle via just 3 wins on your punch card. What I'm trying to tell you, fine people, is that you don't gotta be a super PvP god in order to grab weapon drops from Trials. That being said, at this time, we don't know exactly how many wins will be required in order to grab the upcoming Astral Horizon Shotgun. Could be 3, could be 5, could be 7. The weapon also might not appear in this upcoming weekend's loot rotation at all. The current assumption is that since weekend 1 of Trials, the weapons were the scout rifle, the fusion rifle, and the rocket launcher, the shotgun, as well as the other 2 new weapons, which I won't mention if you don't want to know yet and kind of want to be surprised, will show up in the loot pool for weekend number 2. I'm rambling right now, but point of the story is you probably want to play Trials weekend 2 because there's a high chance the Astral Horizon will be available, and based on how it looks on paper, this thing is going to be a monster. Let's quickly go over its qualifications as to why it's probably going to be a tier 1 shotgun, as well as what perks one might look for in order to make it an official PvP god roll. First of all, the Astral is a member of the aggressive frame family. For those of you keeping score at home, that's the same category as the Mindbender shotgun, which still, despite the class-wide shotgun nerf, still stands proudly as a killer PvP weapon. Sure, if you compare the 2 weapons' base stats side by side, the Mindbender barely takes the cake. If you're gonna bust my balls about it. Remember though, the Mindbender is a massive pain in the butt to farm for, and those of you out there who already love PvP and want to play Trials, the Astral will probably be much more fun to acquire. Not to mention, the Astral Horizon is also a kinetic shotgun, meaning I'll be able to pair it together with one of my favorite PvP weapons, the not forgotten hand cannon. By the way, that's something I can't mix with the Mindbender at all. Anyway, in traditional god roll style, we are going to hop over to the far left hand column and talk about barrels. Briefly, that is. This is kind of the only part of the video where I'm not gonna get too specific. As some of you might know, I put out an initial testing video on shotguns the day season 10 began, trying to figure out how different shotguns felt, along with answering a bunch of other community questions. The question I still don't know the answer to at this point, which shotgun barrel is currently best for PvP? I'm working on it, believe me. I have about 1,000 projects on my plate right now, but the barrel question is one of them for sure. If it makes you feel any better, I can still confirm that smoothbore seems to be trash. I guess some things never change. Really, I need to determine if full choke is still the choice barrel for season 10. Some PvP players like Lumi firmly believe that full choke isn't what it used to be after the sandbox change, while other players like OSK feel that full choke is 100% still the go-to option. Again, I'm working on it. For right now, try not to sweat the barrel so much, the only real rule in place being handling is always good, especially if your shotgun doesn't have quick draw and smoothbore is still bad. Put that on the back burner, and for now let's move over to column 2 where we have our usual array of magazine picks. Kind of tying into barrel options, the subject of range for shotguns is still very much up in the air. Referring back one more time to my initial testing video, it didn't really seem when testing that extra range was making a difference on our shotgun's one-hit kill potential. Extra barrel range range, I should clarify. If we pull up the Season 10 patch notes, we get a quick reminder that ADSing your shotty no longer adjusts effective range for this weapon archetype. It still could somehow affect overall pellet spread tightness though. The only perk here whose viability is in question because of all of this is accurized rounds and potentially also light mag. Look, don't dump your Horizon into the trash if it drops with either of those perks though. More testing required does not mean panic and shard all of your shit. The good news is that the perk I was gonna recommend anyway as the top tier choice of column 2 happens to be Assault Mag, the only mag option capable of improving your weapon's rate of fire. This perk is preferred by a ton of PvP gods who dig the ability to pull off a slightly faster second shot, especially now that effective one-hit kill range has been nerfed by about 1 meter. In trials especially, getting a second shot off on another target slightly faster could mean the difference between winning and losing the round. Let me put it this way, even if we came to the conclusion that yeah, range still matters on shotguns, I would still probably recommend Assault Mag on the Astral Horizon. I'd also like to point out that the aggressive frame shotguns intrinsically have a benefit where you get increased rate of fire after a kill. You didn't know that? Well, you should read the info on your weapons more, bruh. It's also been confirmed in the past that Assault Mag stacks on top of that improved aggressive frame rate of fire buff, which is extra handy. TLDR, Assault Mag brings all good things to the table, and it's what I'm going to be hunting on my Astral until further notice. Jumping over to column 3 of this weapon, good news, there's only 5 perks, so not terrible odds of you getting the one you're looking for. As is tradition, I'm gonna weed out the ones we probably don't want on a PvP god roll. Auto-loading holster, not terrible for special weapons, although usually I think it's better for grenade launchers, rocket launchers, anything that has a one-shot in the mag kind of vibe to it. If you only get one and it has this perk, can still be okay, but I wouldn't actively be hunting for it. Not for PvP anyway. Field prep, faster reload stow and ready is cool, let's be clear about that. Aside from the reload speed, that mostly falls under the umbrella of better handling, and if that's what you're after, there's a much better option on this list than field prep, so pass for now. That's kinda it for not wanted perks on the PvP focused Astral. If you get any of the 3 remaining perks on your gun, you're in pretty good shape. Starting with Threat Detector, this perk is still slept on by a lot of people. It is damn handy, especially at weapons designed for close range. Extra reload and stability for a shotgun are just okay. Other close range weapons like sidearms benefit much more from those kinds of things, but every gun benefits from more handling. Threat Detector activates when any enemy comes within a 15-meter range of your Guardian. We're talking about shotguns right now, so pretty much 100% of the time if you're within kill range of another person, Threat Detector will be active on your Astral. Good perk, nice on shotguns, be happy if you get it. Now, moving on, let's talk for a minute about Slide Shot, particularly about the range-granting aspect of Slide Shot. Again, I know I've said probably 2 or 3 times in this video already that the status of range on shotguns currently up in the air based on Bungie's patch notes. I don't know how much of that pertains though to perks like Slide Shot and one other perk that I'll get to later. Let me explain. I went into a private match with a buddy of mine. He's cool and lets me shoot him in the face sometimes, like good friends do. I stood still and hit him with a different shotty, again because Astral isn't available right now. The damage per pellet was about 14 to 15 each. Then I slid to activate Slide Shot and shot him from literally the exact same spot. I was wedged into a corner actually, so I know it was the exact same spot, and also he didn't move from where he was standing either. The damage per pellet on Slide Shot was now up to 16 to 17 damage per pellet. So despite whatever bull went on with the range changes to shotties, Slide Shot very clearly still manages to push your damage fall off point back on shotguns. Yeah, if you look at the damage done to the enemy Guardians side by side, it's not a ton of extra damage, but it very well could be the difference between you getting a kill and you getting killed. You smell what I'm cooking? Not to mention, by the way, the other benefits offered by Slide Shot. Extra stability, kind of a not big deal on an aggressive frame shotgun, but being able to partially reload your shotty, that is great in the heat of the moment. So in total, you get a further back damage drop-off point and a partial actual reload, all from doing something that most high-level PvP players run around the map doing anyway. Slide Shot is a great perk. Be excited if it drops on your Astral. Now we get to the perk that literally no one is surprised about, Quick Draw. For the record, before we get into this, I'm fully aware of the, quote, quick draw glitch, end quote, that has existed in Destiny for some time. You can stop mentioning it to me in the comment section now. Two things on that real quick. A, I'm not sure that's going to be in the game forever. Bungie could axe it at any time. And B, it requires specific timing to execute. And if you're asking me, F thinking about that every single second in the heat of a PvP match. Quick Draw is all of the awesome and none of the drawbacks or timing. It speeds up your handling by a ton, and in situations where you quickly need to swap to your shoddy to put down someone coming right at you, except no substitutes. Quick Draw is hands down unquestionable god tier. And God help you going back to other shotguns that don't have Quick Draw after you've tried out and gotten used to Quick Draw. It's like a drug, but it doesn't destroy your brain or your teeth or your wallet. TLDR, Quick Draw. Let's move on to column 4, where I think we can also quickly weed out two perks that really just don't do anything for our PvP role. One of those two things is Elemental Capacitor, which can give you a stat boost depending on what kind of class you're playing. Extra handling from arc classes is nice, but in a perfect world, you already have Quick Draw from back in column 3 and really have no need for this perk at all. I guess if you had Slide Shot in column 3, you could maybe run this and have a super bootleg, nowhere near as good as Quick Draw version of Quick Draw, but I'm not really hyped for Elemental Capacitor. Next up is 1-2 Punch. Now this perk is historically known for causing huge amounts of trouble in PvE, but not so much in PvP. Although you could probably use 1-2 Punch to maybe embarrass some roaming supers in Crucible, but the odds of that happening are very low. Like, oh look, my crush just asked me out low. I mean, it can happen, but you know, are we getting too real here? Sorry about that, my bad. I'm sure it'll happen. Just be yourself, buddy. Changing topics, the next 3 weapon perks are all viable for one reason or another. I'm gonna start with the brand new weapon perk, Celery. Celerity. Being the last living member of your fire team gives you the following benefits: better target acquisition, better handling and reload speed, and reduced flinch from incoming fire. That is awesome. Of course, it's only going to really benefit you if you play game types where your teammates might not insta-respawn, like Trials. The extra handling and reload speed are hugely noticeable. The reduced flinch I did notice, but it seemed fairly minor. Still, every little bit helps. The same thing goes for increased targeting acquisition. That is fairly difficult to measure in-game exactly, but I'm guessing it'll probably somewhere along the lines of a targeting adjuster mod or a helmet targeting acquisition mod. The bottom line is it gives you better aim assist, which is literally never a bad thing. Gotta be the last living member of your fire team though, as I already mentioned, so in a perfect world, you'd never need the benefits of celerity on your shotgun because your fire team in Trials is just too hot. That being said, things do happen, and this perk could really help you out in a pinch. Next up is Swashbuckler, extra damage from both melee kills or kills with the weapon. There are 5 stacks of extra weapon damage via Swash. If you get weapon kills, you go up 1 stack at a time per weapon kill. If you get a melee kill, however, you insta-max out at stack number 5, which means your shoddy is going to dish out an extra 30% damage for 4.5 seconds. Not bad. It's important to note that because your damage has now skyrocketed, that's going to push back the distance of your potential one-hit shoddy kills. Seen right here, when shooting my friend normally with an aggressive frame shotgun based on how far away we were from each other, I think 9 meters, each pellet did 17 to 18 damage. With Swashbuckler activated, the damage per pellet went up significantly. It might not come into play a ton, but it could get you a one-shot kill with your shoddy that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten. Something to keep in mind for sure. Finally, we come to the perk that I 100% am hunting for, Opening Shot. Remember earlier I mentioned there was one other perk that, along with slide shot, was bending the current shotgun rules on range? Opening shot would be that perk. You get better accuracy and range on the opening shot of your attack. Weapons like shotguns that mainly are designed to be one and done guns, aka you pull the trigger once and hopefully get one kill, they benefit from opening shot a lot. With my curated Mindbender shotgun, which has opening shot, the extra length of the range cone was damn noticeable. Of course, pellet spread RNG is always going to be a factor in you locking up the one-hit kill or not, but my second Mindbender without opening shot wasn't able to lock up a one-hit kill in our testing, whereas the opening shot Mindbender totally could. May I remind you how easy it is to activate this perk. You don't really have to do anything. It's the first shot out of your gun, something you were going to do anyway at some point during the match, I'm sure. You can also reactivate the perk by just taking out your primary for a second or two, then switching back to your shotty and firing another opening shot. Ever since the sandbox changes to shotguns, opening shot has gone up even higher in PvP viability. It's gonna help you lock up those deep one-hit kills that you crave oh so much. In terms of weapon mods, I feel like you really can't go wrong with Targeting Adjuster, Icarus Grip, or even Sprint Grip, since the Astral doesn't have access to Snapshot. It really depends on your playstyle. If you like to jump, go with Icarus. Like to run around headlong into engagements? Probably Sprint Grip. Want a safe option with no drawback? Just go with Targeting Adjuster. What about masterworking, you say? I'm gonna go with handling. Remember, even if you get Quick Draw, we've already dispelled the rumor that Quick Draw, quote, maxes out handling. It helps it a ton, but doesn't max it out, so as long as it can still help an extra smidge, I say take it. If I do extra testing later this month and find out that range is in fact still a big factor outside of both slide shot and opening shot and is worth a masterwork slot, I'll come back and let you know for sure. And with that, let's review. Aside from the barrel option, which I'm temporarily leaving off the table, what perks are we looking for on our PvP Astral Horizon Shotgun? Assault Mag and Column 2 for the extra rate of fire, Threat Detector, Slide Shot or Quick Draw in Column 3, and Celery, Swashbuckler or Opening Shot in Column 4. Although if that's too open-ended and you want to know the role that I'm hunting for, that's going to be Assault Mag, Quick Draw, and Opening Shot. The barrel and the masterwork I almost borderline don't care about right now. I really want just the big three, which I mentioned right now. Assault Mag, Quick Draw, and Opening Shot. Those perks IMO are the trifecta, and having all three on your shotty is going to make a fierce role for PvP in the coming weeks. Bank on it. And there you have it, some information that you hopefully found useful on the brand new, soon to be here Astral Horizon PvP Shotgun. Whenever we know exactly when it will be in the loot pool, odds are this coming weekend, I'll be sure to let all of you know on Twitter, including how many wins are required on your card for you to get the gun. If you found this video helpful in any way at all, please click the like button and don't forget to click the gray notification bell. That's gonna let you know the second my new videos come out, so you'll be the first to know when I finally figure out which shotgun barrel I should be chasing, and of course all the other fun nonsense I post on this channel. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.